As I travel around the country, I get asked a lot, what's your favorite species of fish to fish for? Well, that would be a crappie. But the first species of fish that I ever seriously fished for in my life was a largemouth bass. And I did it nearly every weekend growing up. We're going bass fishing on this week's episode, and I'm gonna catch them my favorite way to do so. I'm glad you're along with us. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. That is a fish. Oh man, look at this.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southeast region every week.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Woo!
This is Let's Fish.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the show. Well, I'm just hanging out, leaning on my favorite bass boat. This is my Caymas CX21, powered by my Mercury Pro XS 250, and we're getting ready to launch this bad boy into one of my favorite fishing lakes in the entire state of Louisiana. Come here, I want to show you this. We're going to go right up these stairs at a cool little mini resort located right on the shores of this lake, and right out there is BAYOU D'Arbonne Lake. It's loaded with crappie and catfish, and today we're going to be concentrating on largemouth bass. I've heard from some reliable sources that the bass are biting topwaters, and that's my very favorite way to catch them, so I'm really looking forward to getting out there. We're going to be showing you around one of the coolest places to stay here on D'Arbonne Lake, here at D'Arbonne Point, the cabins that we're staying in right on the shore of the lake. Now, while we're out catching those bass, we're going to be taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our Let's Fish Insider Reporter team from lakes, rivers, and bays right close to you, both saltwater and freshwater, getting you ready for your weekend fishing trip. So right now, we're going to get the Caymas down the boat ramp. Next time you see me, I'll be out on Lake D'Arbonne, popping a topwater, throwing a lipless rattle bait, see if we can catch a few bass. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's get things started back at the studio and your weekend planner.
Hello everybody, and thanks for stopping by this week. We're glad to have you. These Salooner tables are predicting fair game fish activity Saturday and good activity on Sunday. Look for peak game fish activity beginning before the sunrise at 3:39 on Saturday and 4:37 Sunday morning. Best daytime action will begin at 4:04 on Saturday and 5:02 Sunday afternoon. Depending on your area, expect the sun to rise around 6:50 and set around 5:30. This weekend will display a moon that is 67% visible. We're coming right back with fishing reports from throughout the area. Plus, I'll return with catfishing expert Chad Ferguson on this week's Ask the Pro feature. Stick with us.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits and the original Baby Shad and new Slab Huntar Minnow. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. And by Caymas Boats. Tomorrow's tournament boat today.
We're on D'Arbonne today, BAYOU D'Arbonne, Louisiana. Catching some fat, healthy Louisiana bass. There's a bite, got him. Come up on top. There we go. Decent fish. Okay, there's the first one. Got him a mouthful of red-eye shad. All right, there we go. We're in business. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We're on D'Arbonne today, BAYOU D'Arbonne, Louisiana, catching some fat, healthy Louisiana bass. Well, we're gonna put that one back, and I caught that one on a lipless rattling crankbait. I'll show you all the gear a little bit later. Let me get you oriented to beautiful Lake D'Arbonne. This is a great place. It's early in the morning right now. The sun's coming up over the cypress trees, and this lake is about 15,000 surface acres. It's located right around Farmerville, Louisiana. The lake is really spread out. It's fed by Darbone Creek and Comey Creek. The dam was built in 1961. The lake filled in 1963, so it's an old impoundment. And the first thing you need to know about Bayou Darbone is shallow. This place is just a big, shallow stump flat, and as you can see, it's just miles and miles and miles of cypress trees and hardwoods, and most of them are broken off right at the surface level over the years. And so if you're going to come to this lake, first thing you need to know is you need to stay in the boat lanes and you need to pay attention. If you wander your attention for 15 seconds, you can be out of a boat lane and up on a stump, tear up a lower unit in your outboard. You can tear up a trolling motor. It's just it's damage waiting to happen here. So you really need to pay attention. Most of the water is anywhere from 2 feet to 6 feet deep. Some of the creeks are 6 or 8 feet deep in the channel with shallow flats. There is the main creek channel, the Comey Creek channel in the Darbone, that runs 20, 25 feet deep in some places. For the most part, this is a really shallow lake. It's loaded with bass and crappie. We'll tell you a lot more about it, but that gets you oriented, and we're off to a start. We've got a bass in the boat early, and I'll explain how we're catching them and what these fish do coming up here in just a little bit.
Well, fall fishing in coastal Georgia is really red hot right now for several different species. I'll be right back with all the details, but first this from our good friends at Foreshore Transportation. This part of the program is brought to you by Foreshore Transportation, the simple solution to all your freight hauling needs. Foreshore can ship freight across the country or across the state. Whatever the load, wherever the destination, Foreshore gets it done fast, safe, and hassle-free. Savannah Captain Jack McGowan says the inshore water temperature up in his area is 75 degrees, and the red fishing for that reason is still really red hot. He says there's plenty of big redfish and lots of slot fish too. The inshore fish are primarily slot fish. These are going to go from 3 to about 10 pounds. There's plenty of them in the creeks around shell bars, the mouths of smaller feeder creeks that come into the bigger rivers and streams. Jack says he likes mid-flow type currents and tides. He doesn't want to be on the new moon or the full moon. He says he likes those tide flows. They're just strong enough to go with like a person walking, a slow flow of current. Consistent slow flow is the best for his inshore fishing now out of Savannah. In addition to catching redfish, Jack's also catching some sea trout and sheep's head, but the better fishing for that, or sheep's head, has been in South Georgia. According to my friend Greg Hildreth down there, he's doing pretty well on some sheep's head fishing, and also inshore action on slot redfish, and again, plenty of bulls around the inlets and the sandbars, the bigger water places for the big bull redfish. Also inshore, there's been some good fishing in the surf along the southeast coast of Georgia, and the trout fishing is improving steadily, and it will get better and better with cooler weather. Captain Tim Cutting also concurs with Greg Hildreth. He says that plenty of good inshore fishing is available with fat trout being caught, and that trout fishing is going to get better and better and better. And there's also good fishing for sheep's head around the shell bar areas and pilings in southeast Georgia. Well, that's it for the coastal South. Get out in the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
Swimming with it. Look at this. That was cool. That fish had picked that bait up and swam all the way across in front of the trolling motor. Not much of a fish, but well, things are calming down out here. They're feeling kind of dead right now. I fished for about an hour or so without a bite. I haven't seen any birds flying. I haven't seen any bait skittering around on the surface. The sun's getting higher and hotter, high pressure in here, blue skies, no clouds. So what I'm gonna do next, and I just picked it up, is I'm gonna go a little bit more finessey on them. I've got a little finesse worm. It's a little Jean LaRue inch worm, and I've got it Texas rigged. And I'm gonna fish around in the same place that I saw fish earlier this morning. So I'm theorizing that they haven't left, but they're just not feeding as much. So I'm gonna have to kind of slow down, force feed them a little bit. Once again, these fish live on these flats and they don't really go anywhere. They might pull off into the little ditches and into the little channels, but they're not gonna make any huge moves. So what you have to do is just kind of figure out what it takes to get one to bite. So as you can see, I'm gone to a spinning rod, light braided line, fluorocarbon leader, and I'm just gonna slow down here a little bit and see if I can tantalize one into biting, and that one did right there. So let's see what happens next. Hang with us, we're gonna keep on fishing our way around beautiful Bayou D'Arbonne, North Louisiana. Look at that. You think he wasn't hungry? Don't leave fish to find fish. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to see more fishing tips, how-to videos, big fish catches, and full episodes of our Let's Fish TV show, be sure to subscribe right here to our YouTube channel. You can also like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter. Good fishing out there. Oh boy, that one slammed it. Look at him jump. Come on. He has got that red-eye shad sideways in his mouth. Look how bad he wanted to eat that bait. Oh, I know, son, I know. Look at that. You think he wasn't hungry? Well, welcome back everybody. We're at Lake D'Arbonne today in Louisiana, and I'm putting into practice something that I learned a long time ago when I fished Bassmaster tournaments in the 90s. So every fishing trip has a story, right? Well, the story of this one is we started off early this morning, and the fish were biting a little bit. They were schooling around a little bit, pretty active. And then, man, it got tough. It got still, calm, blue skies, high pressure, hot temperatures, and everything just died. The birds sat down, no bait on top of the water. And I went 3 hours without a bite. And I was tempted to just crank up and leave and go to another place way down the lake and just try something different. But then I remembered the old adage that I learned fishing those Bassmaster tournaments: never leave fish to find fish. I knew the fish were here. I'd been catching some, I had seen some busting shad around, and so I just hung in here for 3 hours with no bites. And then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, some fish started feeding again, and I've started getting a couple of bites again, and I've caught a couple of fish. So, once you locate the fish, you've got to, there's another one, you've got to just do different things to try to make these fish bite. And that may involve slowing down, it may involve changing baits, it may involve changing retrieves. There's a lot of things you can do to trigger a bass to bite. They will bite if you do the right thing. There's something that'll make a bass bite if you're willing to experiment around and try some different things. And that's what I've done. I've slowed my retrieve down. I've started doing some erratic things. I've gone to a little finesse worm, caught a few, but just remember that. File that away for future reference. Don't leave fish to find fish.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder, Lose, Feel the Difference, and by Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Get our free fishing guide at orangebeach.com.
God, what a blow up. Man, he exploded on that top water. Got it? God, what a blow up. Man. He exploded on that top water. Wow. It's a mad dude. Oh boy, that was really cool. Come here, buddy. Oh. Man, I cannot tell you what a difference a little cloud cover makes. I just want you to notice this real quick. There's that topwater right there, that KVD splash. They're all about the same size, just good, chunky, hard fighting, fat bass. But I want you to notice something. Look out here and we've got chop on the water. It's not dead calm like it was earlier. And we've got cloud cover. We've had some big old clouds that have come up and blocked the sun out. And you can see it's made the whole water and everything just look a lot darker. And all of a sudden, the bass just came in here and started feeding again. So we didn't move, didn't change locations. So just stayed put, stayed where we'd gotten a few bites and caught a few fish earlier and waited them out. That made my heart jump right there. That topwater hit the water and just a big old bowling ball splash hitting right there. All right, Lake D'Arbonne, man. The bass will hit a topwater here, that's for sure.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama Fishing Reports brought to you by TH Marine. Got my foot on a hot foot right now. I use their products every time I'm in a boat, and so should you. Go over to thmarine.com, check out their product line. They've got things that'll change your life on the water. Hey, speaking of on the water, let's talk about what's happening here. In this 3 states, the fishing is changing about as fast as the leaves on the trees. If I'm in Mississippi right now, I'm going to Bay Springs and I'm gonna throw a topwater bait and I am gonna sexy dog, mega dog, sexy dog hard knot, and I'm gonna walk it around out there in that clear water and try to call up some big spotted bass. If I am in Alabama, I'm gonna do the very same thing, but I'm going to Smith Lake and I'm fishing for spotted bass there too, because there's kind of a trend right now. They bite a topwater bait great, especially this time of year. Now in Tennessee, I'm gonna cheat a little bit and I'm gonna steal a little bit of Mississippi and Alabama's thunder, but I'm going to Pickwick. And it's the same thing, but we're probably not gonna catch spots. We're probably gonna catch largemouth and smallmouth, river bars, walking baits. It's on like a Donkey Kong. Get on out here, get you some. We'll see you when you get here. God bless you.
Eat it, eat it, eat it, eat it. He got it, he got it. Top water. How about that? Well, hey, notice one thing here real quick. We've got a little chop on the water. I've got these clouds that have come over and it's made it a little darker. And all of a sudden these fish want to come up on top on a top water. And I'm catching them. I've caught several. Well, there you go. There's one more. Hey, I want to tell you a couple of quick things. In a short 30-minute television show, we just can't get all the fish in that we've caught between yesterday afternoon with my little GoPro camera and today. So I want to just roll in here a couple of other fish that we caught and show you some other fish, several different sizes, some small ones, some bigger ones. We caught them on finesse worms, caught them on red-eye shad, caught some on Strike King hard knock. Now I'm catching them on this little small chugger type topwater bait, the KVD Splash. I'll show all that to you later, but I wanted to show you some of these other fish that we caught. And a couple of years ago, we came crappie fishing here at D'Arbonne and caught some really nice crappie. In fact, this is probably a better crappie lake, a more well-known crappie lake than it is a bass lake, but caught some great big crappie here as well. And finally, I want to show you the place we're staying. It's called D'Arbonne Point. It's right on the water. And when I mean right on it, I mean you step out the big plate glass door looking out on the lake, step right onto the deck, right onto the dock, and your boat can be right there, literally about 40 or 50 feet from your back door. So it's very convenient. They've got the only gas available on the water. Real modern, clean cabins, well appointed. And again, the location just absolutely can't be beat. Contact Andy and his crew there at D'Arbonne Point. And there's the contact information, the website, and the telephone number you see there on your screen.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Motor Guides Tour Pro, cable steer motor with GPS anchor, Waypoint Marine, the Gulf Coast's leading saltwater boating specialist, Strike King, Taiwan On, and by Low Boats. Welcome to Low Country.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Matt wants to know, what is the best method for catching catfish in the fall? For an answer, we asked catfishing expert Chad Ferguson.
My absolute favorite time of the year to catch trophy blue catfish is in the fall and winter. In the majority of the southern states, you're going to find that those colder months, anytime from November through late February, early March, is going to be the most consistent and most productive time for catching those trophy blue catfish. Now, if you move into the northern parts of the country, those times will change a little bit in areas where the lakes ice out or water temperatures get really, really cold. A lot of those anglers will say that the fall is the better time, early fall, but in the southern states, all across the region here for Let's Fish, fall and winter are hands down going to be the absolute best time for catching those big trophy blue catfish on rod and reel.
Thank you so much, Chad, for that info. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Now it's time to find out who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
We've got the Camus boat back on the trailer at Darbone Point at Bayou Darbone Lake at Farmerville, Louisiana after a great day's fishing. And it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He's Richard Skaggs of Kingston Spring, Tennessee, showing a 7.2 pound largemouth bass he caught at Percy Priest Lake at Nashville, Tennessee. If you'd like to be our next winner, you can just go to our website at letsfishtv.com, scroll down to the Big Catch area and follow the instructions to submit your photograph. Or you can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/letsfishtv, go to last Tuesday's post. It's about the Big Catch of the Week, and follow the instructions there. Be sure to give us all the details about your catch, and you could be our next winner.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
This week's Academy Right Stuff starts with the best baitcast fishing reel that Lew's currently has on the market, in my opinion. This is the Lew's Custom Light super low profile reel. Fits perfectly in the palm of your hand. It's the lightest reel that Lew's has ever introduced at less than 5 ounces. Did a great job making long casts like we needed to make for those schooling fish today. As far as the baits were concerned, the first two are Strike King baits. On the left is the Topwater Chugger. That's the Strike King KVD Splash Topwater. It's got a concave mouth, chugs water, pushes a lot of water, and makes a lot of noise. Next to that on the right is the Strike King Red Eye Shad. And for some reason in that stained coffee colored water here at Darbone, that bright yellow color really drew a lot of strikes. And then on the right, that's a little Jean LaRue finesse worm, rigged, Texas rigged with a little 2/0 offset worm hook. One of the most helpful things my mom taught me growing up was to ask myself one simple question: what's the worst thing that could happen? Now that might sound a little negative, but when I was scared, facing a difficult decision, or was doubtful, I learned to ask myself, what is the worst thing that could happen? Then if I could deal with that and get okay with that scenario, most likely the worst thing never happened anyway. And if it did, I was already prepared for it mentally and emotionally. So the next time you hit a rough patch in your life, ask yourself that same question. It has certainly helped me get past a lot of difficult times in my life. And before we get out of here, I want to give you the contact information one more time for Darbone Point, the beautiful little cabins that we stayed at right on the shore of Darbone Lake. They're clean, comfortable, got everything you need situated right on the water. You can book directly online at the web address you see on your screen, or give them a call at the number you see. From Darbone Lake in northern Louisiana, until next week, be safe, have fun. Let's fish, everybody. Bye-bye, y'all.